right. Alder and Taj want to go ahead of us?
This next tape you're going to watch again goes on with some more basics. Once you've covered the halter rope work and you've got some things working for you with your horse and a little communication started, there's some proper ways of getting on and off and getting yourself prepared to ride your horse. There's some things that can be very dangerous if you don't know better, and this tape will point out some things that maybe you've missed or haven't thought of, and hopefully you won't have to get in a wreck to learn them. Maybe you can learn some things from watching this tape and progress your horsemanship as you go. Enjoy it.
I'm going to show you an exercise that you can do in your groundwork. Remember when you do this, not to let the horse's head turn away from you until you have the line going around the hindquarters. She may need to walk around a little bit, and you might not want to do this without some supervision. But it's an important thing for you to understand, because what's really happening here is a lot more than meets the eye. We're asking her to leave to the right with me in her left eye, and as she comes around, she's going to see me out of her right eye, and it's that place behind her. It's that place behind her right there where she changes eyes that many horses get troubled and get tight. We'll try that once more, okay? This is a very important thing to understand, and if you don't get it done in your groundwork with a rope and halter, you can also do it in a round pen by sending a horse away from you. But if you don't get this taken care of in your groundwork, and you go to get on your horse and just swing a leg over, they may see you for the first time come over them on the right side with your leg and catch you out of this right eye and be so surprised and so shocked that they need to buck or run or jump around, and you might fall off in the process. So you want to have the horse comfortable seeing you on both sides. I'm going to start with her head tipped toward me, and then I'm going to release her head and hold this line and let her find her way out of it, and that's where she changes the eye and puts the slack up the line to face me again.
Hi, my name is Angela, and I'm going to be showing you how to put a saddle up on a horse, but instead of putting it up on a horse, we're going to be practicing on a rail, and we do this because we want practice so we don't hit the horse in the ribs with the stirrups or make the horse feel uneasy. You would want to put your left hand below the horn, right next to the stirrup leather, and your right hand on the cantle. You would pivot on the leg nearest the horse and push the saddle up and on the horse and land it softly. And it would look like this. Okay?
Now when putting these pads up, you stand up towards the shoulder here. And just like when throwing your saddle up, you're going to pivot it on up, kind of swinging it over. Now, I'll show you how that's done. That is by placing your left hand up at the point of the shoulder right about here, swinging it over with the right. Now that you have your pad up here, it might be too far back or it might be too far forward. I want my pad to go up forward a little more, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it up her neck a little ways, slide it back down with the grain of the hair. You can, so not to wrinkle the hair up underneath the pad and cause any kind of discomfort. You might have to do that a few times so you get just perfect. Now this is a Western saddle that'll be put in on my mare here, and it is a heavy saddle, and the way I'm going to put it on is probably a way most people would find rather difficult, but if done properly you'll find it kind of easy. What I'm going to do is place my left hand right underneath the swell, my right hand on the off side of my cantle. And then I'm going to place my left foot lined up about with my horse's front feet here, like so. And I'm going to pivot on this foot and swing the saddle up nice and smoothly, so not to bang into my horse's side or get the stirrups or any other piece of equipment caught underneath the horse, caught underneath the saddle. This goes as follows. Now you can see some strings and other items all balled up. So right away, we're going to get that all organized. Just pull everything down where it's supposed to be. Get this organized here, all these cinches. Now we're ready to actually put the girths on. Here we're going to take down our cinches with the cinch keeper. By doing so, just like a belt, you kind of pull up, that pin pull up on the cinch keeper, the pin falls out, you let these cinches drop gently towards the sides of your horse. The point I want to make is that you should not leave your horse's saddle unfastened for too long. If you do so, you risk the danger of having that saddle fall while your horse moves around when tied, and if when that happens, your horse can get scared, pull back, and then you can have a serious mess there. Now I'm going to lift this stirrup up, hook it on over onto the horn here. Now I'm going to take down my latigo, and now I'm going to reach for my cinch, but the way I'm going to do it, so not to get close to those hind feet in case this horse were to kick out at me, I'm going to keep my eye on those feet, reach under with my left hand, bring that up nice and easy. I'm going to feed my latigo down through the cinch, up to the rigging, back down through the cinch one more time. I'm going to make it just a little snug, checking to make sure I don't have little rings, D-rings underneath that cinch. I'm just going to snug it up a little bit, nice and slowly. Pat on your horse at this time, so just to reassure them that they're all right. Put the pin in a hole, tighten that up by pulling on this. And right now, since it's not tightened all the way, my latigo is too short to reach the latigo holder, so I'll just let it hang at this moment, at this time. Now, just as I reach for the cinch, I'm going to do the same to get my rear cinch. I fasten this up just a little bit, not too snug, but just enough so that this saddle doesn't pop up if I were to be roping or doing anything else. I always want to make sure this piece right here is intact. If not, this rear cinch can get back down here. If your horse would fall or anything else, you can get a hind foot placed underneath or in between your horse's stomach and the rear cinch there. Now, take this down. And reminder, always be careful. Make sure that this stirrup's going to stay up there. Because if you have a big stirrup like this, hung up on your horn, and it falls over while you're working down here, you get hit in the head, that could hurt. I'm going to reach around the front for my breast collar. I have little snaps here and a D-ring to make attaching this much easier. Just like so, no problem. And this strap goes right in between your horse's front legs. My right hand comes here to help find where that D-ring is. And snap that up just like that. Birch, before doing any groundwork or anything, you want to make sure your cinch is done up tight enough so that the saddle and pads don't start sliding around, okay?
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and fix these pads and saddle. Make sure everything's even and tidy. What we're going to do to fix it, we need to bring the pads over here a little more. So we're going to lift the whole works up. And as we lift up, fix the saddle, fix the pads. We're ready to cinch up. Be sure to bring the stirrup up over the horn, like so. We're going to use our left hand, positioning ourselves up along with the shoulder. We use our left hand to reach under to get the cinch. The latigo goes through the cinch, back up and down through the saddle here, up down through the cinch again, and then up through the saddle, but then you come across itself, back up through the saddle again, down through itself. Now that's not tight enough, as you can see, but I wanted you to see how that knot went. To tighten it up, you grab the piece here, and then this piece running between your saddle and cinch. Just one strip. And you pull up here, and then you pull the slack out with this hand. And it just goes like that. Right, you make sure that you don't tighten it so that your hands do not get stuck in here, because that gets yourself in a position in a bind so that if your horse takes off, you're stuck right with them. Now, Birch, I want you to walk your horse out and tighten that girth up if needed. Okay? This is important because when your horse moves out, he'll let his breath out, and you'll notice that cinch becomes looser as he lets the air from his stomach out. Now it's important not to do that cinch up too fast, because you can cause aggravation in your horse. Just like someone cranking a belt on you real tight, real fast. It's a little aggravating, so you be sure to make it just as comfortable as you can for your horse. Okay, Birch, be sure not to lose the attention of your horse, okay?
Okay.
Make sure he doesn't look off over there, because what happens if Birch's horse looks over there, the next move would be for his feet to go off that direction, and with Birch standing where he was, that hind end is then in Birch's face.
This is Callie. Her mom was a polo pony and her father was a thoroughbred racehorse. And I'm going to be tacking her up today for you. Watch. When you put a pad on a horse, they always have certain padding. You always check inside. This pad cannot be shaken out. So you always check to see if there's any leaves or anything that could make her uncomfortable. You'd swing it up on her back and push it backwards so all the hair goes same way. Just like we're putting on a saddle, you would pivot with the foot closest near the horse and just swing it up. And make sure the pads are even. Good girl. You always check both sides to make sure that they're both even. You always check the other side to make sure all the leathers are out from under the saddle. And you always put the girth on the right side and with the leather and not the elastic. Put the leather on first. These are the billet straps, and there is an extra one just in case one breaks. And put them through girth buckles. Now we're going to go to the other side. Before you reach under to get the other side of the girth, you want to face back so you're facing towards the back of the horse. And you want the horse to know you're there. So you're going to feel under, and you want to take it with your left hand instead of your right, because you can easily get under like this, and right here you're caught because your whole body is twisted. So you want to feel under, let her know you're there. Good girl. And take it under really gently. Good girl. When you're putting the girth up, you want to make sure that the horse is very comfortable so he doesn't have any bad feelings about the saddle or us. You can tell if your horse isn't comfortable by his ears, if they're going back, or if he's moving around, or if his tail is swishing a lot. Okay. The stirrups are usually up, so you want to run them down. You can lengthen or shorten the strap by running it up or down, the buckle up or down. And to make sure you have the strap secured tightly enough, when you pull on the back stirrup leather, you'll hear a click. If you're tying your horse up or lunging him, you don't want the stirrups to be flopping near his side to give the horse a wrong idea. So you would tie the stirrups up.
This is a Western bridle. The parts of this bridle goes as follows. This is the head stall. This is the brow band. This piece here is the throat latch. These are the cheek pieces. This is the bit. This here is the chin strap. These are slobber straps here. This is the McCarty, which acts as the lead. And these are the two reins. Okay. I'm going to start out when bridling, bring my horse's head to me. I'm going to get her muzzle in between the two cheek pieces, like so. Now I have her here. I can bring her head further over I can let her have her head back a little bit, but I have control now. Now I'm going to hold the bit before placing it inside her mouth by cradling it in my fingers. Now my middle finger holds the bit out. My index finger is here just to help support that bit stay straight. And my thumb comes through the bit here just to work the corner of my horse's mouth to open it up so I can slip the bit in. Now I'm going to bring my horse's head to me, get her muzzle in between the two cheek pieces here, and slide this bit up underneath her chin for now. Now I'm going to get the bit in that cradle position. I'm going to work the corner of her mouth with my thumb, like so. She opens up. Now I pull the bit up with my right hand. I don't cram the bit in. I simply pull it up, being sure not to hit any teeth to cause any kind of discomfort. We try to make everything just as comfortable as can be for the horse, so the horse doesn't get sour to what we're asking for. Notice I don't have any strips of leather running across my horse's eye at any time. I always try to avoid that, just to make it easier on your horse. Now I'm going to fold the horse's ear forward through the head stall like so. I'm going to pull the cheek piece out and around her eye, pulling that ear forward through the head stall. Now we're ready to do the throat latch up. Throat latch shouldn't be too tight, but it should be snug so that your head stall doesn't come up over your horse's ears. And at this point, I can take this halter down. I no longer have any need for the halter, so I'll just place it over to the side. I'll bring my horse's head towards me. Slip these reins up over her head. Just like that. Now for safety reasons, I'll loop my reins over the horn. That way, she can't put her head down and get these reins up on her, over her ears and step through it and injure and harm herself in any way. We refer to this McCarty as being a lead when off the horse, like I am right now, but it's important to never tie your horse off to anything with the McCarty alone. I'm going to show you a knot here so you can tie your horse up to a post and you're not actually tying your horse off to the bit. You bring your reins up to your horse's ears here. Then you take the side you're standing on and throw it all over to the other side here, so that this slobber strap is going up your horse's cheekbone like that and up out of the way. And you pick up the reins you have on the off side so that your outside slobber strap is up running along with your inside slobber strap here. And then you gather all that into one hand and you run this loop up through this loop in here that we now have, running up towards the throat latch, but not inside of the throat latch, and then back down through itself in a little half hitch. And then you tighten that right up. You want to make sure that all of this underneath is snug and none of it's hanging down, just so it's nice and neat there. And from here we're going to go into a bowline. With the McCarty still free, we build a little loop to the outside, going to the front of your horse. We bring this down through it, up and over the McCarty, and back up through the hole. Now from right here, you can tie your horse up to a post if you had to leave and do something real quick. And if your horse were to pull any, it wouldn't be pulling at its mouth. This here is where all the pull would come from. It'd be up around your horse's neck, like that.
Just like when I bridle my horse up to go for a ride in Western gear, I'm going to make sure that I don't have my lines tangled or twisted. I'll put my bridle over my arm, my lead rope over my arm, take my halter off, make sure to get her attention and bring her head to me, drop the halter off the end of her nose. Now remember what I said before. If she needs to leave, I'm probably not going to be able to stop her. But the chances are, before I'm going to put my bridle on my horse, that I've got her broke enough to where if she did get upset or startled, I could redirect her with this and not have to lose her. Just like with my Western bridle, I'm going to hold my bridle in this way and bring the bridge of her nose to me. When she turns loose, I'll change hands and go under here. I'm going to wait for her to open her mouth. I'm not going to follow the head up. She did open her mouth, but I'm not going to chase her head with the bit. Wait for her to open her mouth, and as she lowers her head, she's finding her way with it. She'll lower her head, and I'll put one ear forward, the other ear forward, pull the brow band up. When I adjust a snaffle bit in a horse's mouth, I make sure that the bit is low enough that there is not a forced wrinkle in the side of her mouth. Right here you can see that there is a wrinkle, and it's a wrinkle that she has actually put there by pulling that bit back up to a place where she's comfortable holding it. I'm going to open her mouth, and you can see that she'll let go of this bit and drop it down. You can see right there the release of that bit, and her mouth is open above it, and in a moment she will work her mouth and put it back up to a point where she has it kind of drawn up into the corner of her mouth where she's comfortable holding it. The reason for this is that you don't want to have a baseline pressure in the horse's mouth that would, under other circumstances, be enough to back the horse up. I've modified this English bridle by removing the noseband cavesson. I like the look of a horse with an open face, and I don't generally like to use equipment that I don't have a need for. The cavesson, by design, was made to hold a martingale, which is a piece of equipment that runs down to the girth, has a loop around the neck to hold the horse's head down and in. We don't want to get involved with something like that on horses that already know how to put their head down and in. The idea of tying her head down and in this position with a cavesson would probably be as unpleasing to her as it is to me. The other modification that I like to make to English bridle, in addition to removing the cavesson, is to add a leather curb strap, so that if you have to take the head from side to side in a situation that is sudden, or if you get into a bind and the horse's mouth comes open, you don't want to have that bit travel through it. If I were to take her to the left and her mouth were to come open, I wouldn't want this side of the bit to come through. So the function there of the leather strap would be to prevent that. All in all, it makes a really nice piece of equipment, and whether you ride English or Western, you need to be comfortable with your gear. This is a horse that loves apples. This is a horse that I feed apples and carrots a lot, but she respects my space. Here's an apple, there's her face. I've got her attention, and I've got her interest, but I've got her respect. This apple being near her mouth, she's interested, but she's not going to come and take it out of my hand, bite my fingers, or bite anyone else's fingers. Maybe I can get her to follow that and think about it, and maybe I could teach her how to fetch it. Come on, Sal. Come here, baby. Come on, Sal. Come on, Sal. Come here. Pumpkin, you come here, hon. Come here, baby. Come here, baby.